Chelsea travelled to Old Trafford to take on Manchester United. I will be comparing Mourinho's tactics from the last time these two teams met together. So if you hadn't had the chance to watch that video yet, go ahead and click the pop-up on the top right. Let's take a look at how the home team lined up. Mourinho decided to go with a midfield 3. That's what it looked like on paper. But that was not how United really lined up. We'll get into more details after we take a look at how the away team lined up. Conte stuck with his 3-4-3 formation, something he has done since early last season, so I don't think I need to explain their tactics a whole lot. If you want more details about Chelsea's tactics, check out my previous videos on Chelsea. So in my previous video, where I covered the 1-0 game in which Chelsea won against United, Bailly was having to man mark Hazard for the most part. But that kept dragging away a defender, which left United with the back 4. So Mourinho changed his tactics this time and decided to not go with the back 5 like he did last time against Conte. This was a good move on his part. Let's take a look at why this was a good move by Mourinho. Sanchez had a much more central role than usual and was at the head of a midfield diamond. This allowed Sanchez to mark a Chelsea midfielder, whoever dropped deep, be it Conte or Drinkwater. I'm sure most of you will be wondering why a diamond shape. Mourinho never really does this. Well, because of Sanchez, United's midfielders did not have to worry about a deep Chelsea midfielder, which enabled the United's midfielder to mark more dangerous threats. McTominay was tasked with man-marking Hazard. Notice how McTominay started on the right and where he is now. This allowed United's fullbacks to mark Chelsea wingbacks, while Matic and McTominay marked more dangerous threats, the threats being Hazard and Willian. I'm sure whoever saw the match must be wondering why I'm praising Mourinho, when Chelsea were probably the better team in the first half. Well, Chelsea was the better team in the first half. Let's take a look at why. Mourinho tasked Martial to stick with Azpilicueta. This is because this is what happened when the two sides met each other last time. So essentially, Lukaku was having to deal with two center backs on his own. Conte spotted this early on and gave his center backs the freedom to go forward. Notice how Christensen has plenty of space in front of him since Lukaku just returned to his position. This kept causing United trouble, as Chelsea kept using this tactic in moderation. United made sure not to press in the final third, which gave Chelsea more time on the ball. Chelsea were switching the play a lot. They did this when they were getting trapped on one side of the field, and to get a field as well. Chelsea wingers were playing a big part in creating spaces to switch the play. The forwards also kept dropping off the shoulder of the last defender. Chelsea were the more threatening side early in the game. United were getting chances as well, but they only came through counterattacks. Notice Martial. As you saw, Martial gave the ball away. For some reason, he was really poor in this match, trying to link up with his teammates. This only helped Chelsea as United's counterattacks kept breaking down before they got dangerous. Chelsea did a good job defensively as well. They were happy to sit back and let United have the ball even in their own half. That made it difficult for United to find spaces through the middle, which forced Sanchez to play much deeper than usual. United were getting a few chances their way, with all of them coming through the flanks. Just like Barcelona, United kept going on the flanks to look for an opportunity. This is what happened in the 31st minute. Valencia should be paying more attention. Notice how Valencia plays Villian on. Chelsea were now focused on keeping their lead instead of adding to it. They were now even more compact than before. United were slowly getting back into the game as they started to pin back Chelsea looking for an equalizer. United were definitely the better side in the later stages of the first half. Sanchez should have scored. Pogba was having a good game as he had the freedom to go upfield. And he was getting the better of Conte. United's forwards started to play close to each other later in the first half. Eventually, United got back into the game, even though they did not look that threatening. The first half ended with both sides level on goals. As soon as the second half started, Chelsea were content with sitting back even more than before. This made it more difficult for United to get that second goal they were after. United, on the other hand, were now much higher compared to the first half, which made it difficult for Chelsea to hold on to the possession for a good amount of time. Mourinho wanted to keep the Chelsea defenders in check because they kept making runs forward, as I explained earlier. So Mourinho wanted Martial to press other defenders too instead of just sticking with Azpilicueta. Notice how Martial is marking the nearby defender, which leaves Azpilicueta open. This change in tactic allowed United to defend against the on-rushing Chelsea centre-backs. Martial was still poor, as he kept giving away the ball cheaply. United centre-backs made sure to stay tight with Chelsea forwards, even when they dropped off the shoulder of the last defender. United seemed to be in control of this match. And were getting much closer to getting that second goal. Chelsea were relying on counterattacks to get them closer to United's box. But United did well to defend against Chelsea's counterattacks. It was no surprise that Martial would be the one to come off, as he seemed like the weak link in United's attack. In the 64th minute, Lingard replaced Martial. This change meant that Lingard would go into the middle, while Sanchez would go over to the left. This was a good substitution by Mourinho as Martial was having a poor game and isn't that good without the ball, while this was Lingard's first involvement. Lingard offers much more defensively than Martial. United were now in total control of the match as they kept on threatening Chelsea's goal. And came really close to scoring their second. No wonder this happened in the 75th minute. Notice how Valencia stays back, which drags Alonso a bit out of his position, allowing Lukaku to make a run in behind. As soon as United scored, Conte wanted his centre-backs to run forward, even if it left them open at the back. In the 79th minute, Mourinho brought on Bailly for Sanchez, which meant that United switched to a back 5, while Conte brought on Giroud and Fabregas for Moses and Drinkwater, which meant that Chelsea switched to a back 4. Chelsea were already having a difficult time attacking United when they had 4 defenders. Now they had to deal with 5 defenders. Chelsea only managed to create this chance late in the second half. Even though it wasn't offside, if you look at it a second later, and since Smalling was in the process of stepping up, you can see why the linesman called it. The game ended with Manchester United moving back to the second place, while Chelsea dropped out of the top 4. Mourinho is the latest one to get the upper hand in this rivalry of the two great managers. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already.